All right, so let's get into the adoption news here. And I pulled this off of Google. This is the Bitcoin adoption rate chart. Bitcoin adoption has been tracked through various metrics, including the number of unique addresses holding at least $1 worth of Bitcoin and the number of active addresses. Here's an overview of Bitcoin's adoption rate based on these metrics. So this is 2021. Bitcoin adoption peaked with over 41 million addresses holding at least $1 worth of Bitcoin. This was a significant milestone in the cryptocurrency's growth. Active addresses. The number of active Bitcoin addresses has stabilized around 1 million since reaching a peak. These active addresses represent a small percentage of the total Bitcoin addresses holding at least $1 worth of Bitcoin. Now, as of 2024, the year 2024 is pivotal for Bitcoin adoption due to the upcoming halving event, which already happened, and the potential SEC approval of Bitcoin ETFs, which already happened, which could boost adoption and drive the Bitcoin price upwards, which already happened. Future projections. Analysts predict that Bitcoin adoption will continue to grow, which is happening now, with some suggestion that by 2030, half of the world's population could be using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. I want to stop right there. That is 5 years from now, right? What's the adoption right now? Where we at? 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%? Nobody knows. But half the population in 5 years, again, this is the definition of gradually then suddenly. All right. So this is why I'm telling you, we are so early and you are so ahead of the game. You guys don't even understand. All right, guys, we got a bright light. In more adoption news, Thailand considers allowing Bitcoin ETFs in the country. That's big news. Thailand SEC plans to allow Bitcoin ETFs in the country, saying they need to move along with the global adoption of Bitcoin. I mean, guys, Thailand is set to become a major, I can read it. This is off Bitcoin News. You guys can go ahead and check that out. But again, this is just adoption, and every single day, man, it's just more. There's more and more countries with the governments and the companies and more millionaires and billionaires. Guys, it's never ending. We got some more adoption news here, guys, from Bitcoin News on X. We just provided some information for a nation state asking about Bitcoin ETFs. Considering moving some exposure from foreign currency government bonds into BTC. Bitcoin is entering a new chapter, says Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley. If you have bonds right now, guys, the reason why you have bonds is for what? You keep it for your purchasing power. You can get maybe some dividends or whatever, and the government just borrows your money and does a lot of bad things with it, right? If I was in a position of somebody that had bonds, I'd sell them all for Bitcoin. I mean, a lot of companies and countries and individuals are going to be doing this. They're going to see when they're looking at when they're looking at all their competitors and their friends and family members that don't have bonds and they traded in for Bitcoin, and they could see the absolute crushing of these bonds in comparison to Bitcoin. Everybody's going to do it. It's just a no-brainer. All right, guys, we got a bright light. All right, from the New York Times, a first day Trump order a federal stockpile of Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency industry has pushed President-elect Donald Trump to establish one, creating real political momentum behind the plan. I love that flag. Love it. On the eve of Mr. Trump's inauguration, the cryptocurrency industry is pushing his incoming administration to execute an audacious plan that would have seemed unimaginable just a year ago. A government program to buy and hold billions of dollars of Bitcoin. This is something we already know. To me, right here, this is the most important part of the article. The profits from a Bitcoin stockpile would help chip away at the 36 trillion national debt. Proponents of the plan have argued and ensure U.S. economic dominance if the global economy someday runs on cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Wow. Yeah. And again, as you can see, we know it's 36 trillion. That's huge, man. That's huge. And I say that to you at the end of all these BNN videos. There's only one way we're going to pay off this debt. It's not cutting spending. It's not borrowing more. It's not printing more money. The only way to pay off this insane debt is through Bitcoin. Here's another article. Policy proposal for Trump's Bitcoin stockpile leaks. The biggest way the world is going to adopt Bitcoin is through America. I believe we're going to be the leaders of that. I really do. And Trump's policies and the government stockpiling Bitcoin and doing what they have to do. Again, El Salvador is great. I love El Salvador. I love what Nayib Bukele's doing. But again, we're talking about the United States of America. We're the #1 economy in the world. And when Donald Trump talks, again, people listen. All right, guys, we got a bright light. Here's Kalshi, the betting market. And what it's saying is, will Trump create a national Bitcoin reserve this year? According to the betting market, it's right at about 71% that he will. That the government will buy Bitcoin as a national reserve, as a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So again, the markets are saying yes. Trump pretty much already said it. So again, guys, I would be buying as many Satoshis as I could and humanly possible before the inauguration and before we started stockpiling this Bitcoin.